YouTube channel. I'm live. And I'm going to resurrect a project that I kind of set aside until I had better skills. I'm going to make a staff. See that big old rock there? That's rock. That's not glass. I'm not positive, but I believe it's red obsidian. And if you put it like I just had it, you got to turn it a bit, but it does fit right in there. And if you look, back when I was working on this, Jesus, it's been a while. Kind of looks like a hand. Or at least I was trying to make it look like a hand that would hold that rock. Okay. Picture a hand like this, holding the rock. Okay. And tell me that isn't pretty dang cool for the makings of a wizard staff. Okay. I know that fits in there if I wiggle it around. So I'm going to put this beautiful rock aside. And I'm going to put you in this holder right here so that you can see. And I'm going to shape. Sorry. I wasn't prepared to do this as well as I thought I was. Hold tight. Okay, that's better. I want to work on this hand, kinda, because I see it as a hand. It's kind of thumbish right there. And I'm going to come a little deeper right here. And I got to make the staff part thinner because it's heavy. And that's what I'm going to do for now. And you can get up in here, grab yourself a soda pop and some chips, maybe a beer and your favorite snack. And I'm going to put on my air filtration system. Going to put on my mask. If I can figure out where the hell I put the damn thing. Where am I? Oh, it's way over there. Good gracious. Hold on a second. Let me go get it. It's sitting over here on the shelf. Come here, dude. Okay. Oh, damn, there's my glasses, too. I swear to God, this place is a mess. Well, shucks. Okay. That'll work. Probably should spend a couple hours and clean this damn place up, but you know what? I ain't gonna. I ain't gonna. Not right now, anyway. I want to work on this puppy. Okay. Got to put on your mask and your glasses at the very least. I've got an air filtration system by Raycon. I'm going to turn that on, going to make some noise. And I'm going to shave this down a little bit. I've got a finger sander. Do me some sanding and see if we can't get that down a little bit. I believe this is sycamore. It's hard. And it's a good looking stick. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. takes me out of commission for a moment. Where the hell did the screw go? That sucks. Shit. I can put it back on, that's not a problem, but I need that screw. Crap. Okay, well, that's going to be put aside for me. I can figure out what happened to that screw. Crap. Crap. I'm not going to spend an eternity trying to find it right now, though. Oh, but damn. I actually did find it. Can you believe that shit? Cool. We'll fix it. My shop is so filthy that I'm surprised that I was able to find that, but I did. These finger sanders are handy, by the way. If you don't have one and you do woodwork, you might want to consider. It didn't cost me all that much either, less than $100. And I use the hell out of it. Right now I'm running, I think, 36 grit. That is the right screw, right? I thought. There it is. By golly, it is the right screw. Look at that shit. Man, she just loves me. I looked down, there it was, staring up at me. It could have got lost forever, and it's saw this nut that I call the shop. Okay. Hardest thing, keep that sucker on there. It pops off a lot. Oh, sorry. Back to it. You're definitely going to want to wear your mask, guys. The sawdust in your lungs doesn't make a good idea. Okay, here we go. Hey, Grumpy. Ugh. This is a project I've been working on for an awfully long time. I wanted to make a wizard staff and put this rock on top of it. And I love the fact that it's kind of like my hand. I'm gonna get down in there and make it all detailed so that it looks like my hand holding that rock. I've got a couple challenges. The biggest challenge I have is this sucker's too big around, and grinding it down is a pain in the ass, but it's doable. And yeah, now that I got these Kutzel detail burrs, I can get up in here. And maybe make it look like fingers, but pretty cool stuff, man. Huh. So I was gonna trade my walking stick that I made that's got rat fink on it to a guy for some deer antler, but it looks like he's for whatever reason not gonna do that, so shucks. Yeah, I was gonna go up to the Emporium tomorrow because his girlfriend is Audrey, and she's the gal that works here on Sundays. And I was figuring maybe he'd be there again tomorrow. But I sent him a message and he says, looks like I'm not going to be able to do the trade with you. I'm not sure what the deal is. Hopefully I can talk to him and maybe make arrangements or something else. A little disappointed, man. I want those antlers. But, maybe he didn't have them, or maybe he found them and they weren't to the good ones that he thought he had or something, or I don't know what happened. I'm a little disappointed. I was gonna go up there tomorrow. Now I'm not sure whether I want to make a trip all the way up there for nothing, because I did all of the pricing last Sunday, and Joe doesn't want me bringing any more stuff up there because she's getting a lot of donations and she's running out of room. So I really don't have a reason to go up there except for, taking a nice drive and seeing Audrey. I do like Audrey, and I like JJ too, her boyfriend, the guy that was going to do business with me, but I don't know what the deal is. I sent him a text. I haven't really spoke to him on the phone. I'm hoping I can speak to him on the phone, find out what the deal is, because he can trade me whatever. He really likes that red fink walking stick, and I'd like him to have it, but I want to get a little something for it. Those people that live up the hill often have a lot of deer antler because there's deer all over the place up there, and they lose those antler sheds, and a lot of those guys collect those sheds, and just because they think they're cool, and they make stuff out of them. But I can take and carve that damn thing and make really cool stuff. Hello, Francis. How are you? Oh, and plywood? Good gracious. Hello. Wow. I got the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, talk away. I'm gonna carve. Love to see you up in here, Francis. Hey, I'm not sure if you sent it or not, but I didn't get stickers from you. If you can send me those stickers, I'd love you forever, because I collect those stickers. And plywood? Do you have a sticker? I'd love to get a sticker from you. And Francis, I love the fact that you dropped into my live. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. I see plywood now and again, but I don't think Francis has ever dropped into my live before. Boy, that's cool as hell. Hi there. Hello. Oh, okay. Well, shucks. Tell you what, my email is at the bottom of my account. I added that. Send me a quick email so that I have your email in return, and I'll send you my address for those stickers. Sorry about that. I wondered what was going on, because I know you're a sweetheart and you wanted to send them to me, but if you don't have my address, you can't do it, can you? Wow. Okay. Well, that makes sense now. Hey, you guys know Gilbert? He did a couple of raffles, 2 or 3 raffles, and by golly, I won a big box of cottonwood bark. And he told me today that he's going to be shipping that out. I think he wants me to pay for shipping because he's sending a big old box, but I don't get paid until Wednesday, so I'll hook up with him on Wednesday and he can ship me those big box of cottonwood bark. Apparently where he lives, he's got a load of cottonwood bark. And I've never worked with it, but I've seen what beautiful things are created with it, and I wanna work with some cottonwood bark, because I got me some nice carving knives now. I got one of those custom-made carving knives from Just Carve Rob. Oh, and it's awesome. And then I bought a couple others. I got a Moro knife, and I got a flex cut. And I've been working with basswood, and doing all right with the basswood. So I figure if I can do basswood, that cottonwood bark is going to be fun. Yeah, thank you, Francis. Email me and I'll email you right back after I'm done playing with my wizard staff. I'm going to have this hand here hold a big old red rock. I'll show you here in a second. This rock right here. And oh yeah, it's gonna look cool. I've been working on this one for an awfully long time. I put it aside because at the time I didn't think I had the skill to make the hand look halfway decent. And now that I've increase my ability to make it look better, I'm tackling it again and hopefully be able to finish it this time. Fun stuff. You know, I've only been power carving since Christmas of 23. Isn't that something? And I've already made about $6 grand off of selling my stuff since then. Pretty proud of myself. Now I'm kind of thinking I should make a couple of holes behind that so that light can shine through that rock. What do you think? I'm thinking so. If you guys use that, there's a bit that you can get that's intended for cutting drywall, and by God, it cuts through stuff. Ooh, baby. I was watching one of Jordy's videos, and he turned me on to this thing. You see that? See the teeth on that? It goes in all directions, and it cuts through like, oh my goodness, nothing else. This one's an 1/8 inch bit, and it's intended for cutting drywall. And tell you what, it's a good one in my arsenal. Yes, it is. It's Robert T. Peters approved. Hell yeah. You betcha, baby. Kumbaya. You know, I learned a little while ago, when you're going to change bits after doing something like that, don't grab them with your bare fingers because they're hot. It'll fry your fingertips, Mr. Willis. And that's just plain said. Okay, what do we got? Okay, fine. Oh, is that what it's called? A roto zip? Probably so. I don't know what it's called. I just bought it. I went to my people in the hardware department because I work at Home Depot. I says, hey, you got one of them bits that cuts drywall? Wow, come over here. Okay. Ah, there we go. Hole is achieved. Nice. More better. Yeah. Ta-da. I like it. See, now when I hold it up, after I finish it in 100 years or so, when I get this damn thing completed, I can hold it up to the sun and a cross will shine through the rock and it'll be astonishing. Cool stuff, man. God, I like this hobby. It's fun. Yeah. Now, if that sucker was ruby, but no, I think it's red. Dang it! What did I say it was? Red obsidian, something like that. Yeah. Oh, mercy gracious! I'm having fun. You having fun? Okay. Yeah. So I've been told I just bought them to try. I won't wear them all the time. I also was told to make sure my hair is put up so it doesn't get caught in the tool. What are you talking about? It will bounce off your skin, but if it catches that glove, it's wrapping it up. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's them burrs. Grab loose stuff. Yeah, they're very, very true. Be careful. For sure, your ponytail. Don't be catching your hair in your device. That'd suck. Oh my, where am I at here? You know what? I'm gonna put on. Hey, for those of you that may have not got a hold of one of Peter Blair's sanding mandrels. I was given one as part of a prize that I won in one of those contests that Kindred Spirits have. Check that out. See how thick that sucker is? And you can make a sanding thing out of it. Oh man, and the screw that goes into it's about that long, so you can really get her done with that. I asked him if he could sell me some, and unfortunately he's up in Canada, and the tariffs and stuff are kind of screwing with his price a little. But he said he'd work with me a little bit, but you know what? I shouldn't be spending my money. But this sucker here is awesome. You got to be careful to go slow when you're doing the sanding though. You don't want to go too fast. Yeah, it's too fast. Slow down, Robert. Don't destroy another Dremel. That'd suck. I'm good at destroying Dremels. You know, since I picked up my, let's see, tight leather gloves will work best if you feel you need to wear a glove. I mean tight fitting, not loose. True. Very true. Maybe a little tiny bit faster. I'm pretty sure this wood is sycamore. It's pretty hard. It's awesome to carve though. But you got to spend a little bit more time on it. Almost dropped it. Don't do that. Okay, guys. I think I've done enough damage for now. Okay, it says here, cool, want to be safe? We won't have no Friday night resin lives if you chew on a finger. It's right. I'll be careful, and yes, I bought the gloves smaller size than I wear for that reason. Hey, appreciate you coming into my lives, guys. Please hit the like. I'm gonna go get me some dinner. Thanks a lot. I'm out. Bye.